feels like every day we're stepping into an episode of Black Mirror, you know?
Yeah, tell me about it.
Today's deep dive is right out of that realm. We're talking Larry Ellison, the Oracle co-founder.
A tech titan with some, shall we say, strong opinions about where AI is headed.
And he's not afraid to share them. We're dissecting his recent pronouncements at an Oracle meeting.
Which, let's be honest, caused a bit of a stir.
Understatement. So buckle up as we go deeper than the headlines, folks. We're talking Ellison's full vision for AI, specifically in law enforcement.
This isn't your average, let's automate some paperwork stuff either.
No, we're talking full-on AI watching the police 24/7.
Imagine a system that analyzes every second of body cam footage, flags any potential misconduct in real time.
So the goal being fewer incidents of excessive force, that sort of thing, more evidence-based decisions.
Exactly. But that's where the rabbit hole gets deeper.
Yeah.
You've now got who watches the watchers.
Right. Because what about those split-second judgment calls officers have to make? What looks bad to an AI might be totally justified given the context, right?
Exactly. And that's before we even touch on the whole what biases are baked into these algorithms issue.
Yeah.
Which is huge EE.
It's like the potential benefits are completely intertwined with these massive red flags.
And Ellison doesn't stop at AI overseeing the police either. This is where it gets really interesting.
Oh, it gets better. Or more intense, I guess. What's he suggesting now?
He's talking about extending that AI surveillance to the public.
Wait, you mean like all of us?
You're talking about cameras everywhere,
Yeah.
coupled with AI analyzing our every move.
So like Big Brother, straight out of 1984.
The comparison is inevitable. His argument is this constant monitoring would lead to better behavior, less crime. You know, if you think someone's always watching.
You're less likely to jaywalk, let alone anything more serious. It's that whole panopticon effect, right? But
But at what cost?
right, where does personal freedom fit into this vision of perfect safety? And what about things like protesting or just having a private conversation in public?
It's a recipe for self-censorship at best. And at worst, well, let's just say those with something to hide aren't the only ones who should be worried.
Exactly, because any system like that is ripe for abuse, whether it's governments with less than stellar human rights records.
Or corporations with their own agendas.
It's a chilling thought.
It is. And the thing is, this rabbit hole goes even deeper.
Oh, there's more. This is like one of those endless scroll situations. What else does Mr. Ellison have in store for us?
Well, he's not content with just AI watching us. He wants to replace police cars with AI-controlled drones.
Okay, now that is straight out of a sci-fi movie.
Tell me about it. And that's before we even get into the practical limitations.
Right.
Like, current drone tech just isn't there yet. Battery life, speed, the ability to navigate complex situations, we're nowhere near replacing human officers on the ground.
Okay, but let's say, for argument's sake, the tech does catch up. Aren't we back to the same ethical dilemmas we started with?
Absolutely. You're talking about life or death decisions potentially being made by an algorithm.
With no human judgment, no room for compassion, no understanding of nuance.
It's a terrifying prospect, frankly.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder, why is Ellison so gung-ho about all of this?
Right, because it's not like Oracle is some tiny startup with nothing to lose by throwing out radical ideas. They're a major player.
They are, but here's the thing. They're a slice of the cloud computing pie, which is essential for this kind of AI. It's tiny.
Really? I would thought.
Think single digits, like 2, maybe 3% market share compared to the giants like Amazon and Google.
So you're saying maybe this whole big, bold vision for the future is partly a way to get people talking about Oracle?
And the AI capabilities. It is no coincidence that he's painting this picture of a world that needs Oracle's solutions.
It's smart, I'll give him that. But it also makes you wonder how much of this is genuine concern for public safety.
And how much is a billionaire trying to shape the future in a way that benefits his company? Which wouldn't be unheard of, let's be honest.
Not at all. It's a good thing we're here to unpack it all then. Back again on the deep dive. We're picking up right where we left off. Larry Ellison's, shall we say, ambitious vision for AI's future.
A vision that really makes you question some fundamental assumptions about technology's role, I think.
No kidding. I mean, are we really willing to sacrifice privacy and autonomy on the altar of safety and efficiency? Because that seems to be the trade-off he's proposing.
And it's a slippery slope, right? Today, it's AI watching the police. Tomorrow, who knows?
Exactly. It's the classic, give them an inch, they'll take a mile scenario. And let's not forget, technology is never apolitical.
Right. It's built by people, within systems, with all their inherent biases and agendas.
Which brings us back to Ellison himself. The article we're dissecting makes a point about how his background, all that wealth, being head of Oracle, might be coloring his worldview a bit, don't you think?
It's certainly something to consider. When you're that insulated from the everyday realities most people face, I imagine risk takes on a whole different meaning.
Totally. It's easy to advocate for constant surveillance when you've got private security and live in a gated community, right?
And that disconnect, that gap in experience between the ultra-wealthy and everyone else, it has consequences, especially when they're the ones shaping powerful technologies like AI.
It's a stark reminder that we, the users, the citizens, we can't be passive about this stuff. We can't just accept whatever tech gets thrown our way.
It's about staying informed, engaged, and asking the tough questions. Who benefits from this tech? Who's most at risk?
And what kind of safeguards do we need to put in place, right? Because this impacts all of us. And we're back. This deep dive has been, well, I'd say eye-opening, wouldn't you?
To put it mildly, Ellison's vision for AI is certainly provocative.
Provocative is one word for it. We've talked about the potential benefits, the huge risks, even the motivations behind these ideas, but it all boils down to what do we do with this information?
Because it's easy to feel powerless.
Yeah.
Like this wave of tech is just going to crash over us whether we like it or not.
Exactly. So how do we go from feeling overwhelmed to actually having some agency here?
Well, for starters, we got to bridge the knowledge gap. Those folks, they don't understand this stuff. How algorithms work, how decisions are made. It's all a mystery.
So more education, you're saying?
Yeah, big time. AI literacy needs to be a thing, not just for the techies, but for everyone. Because you can't have a meaningful opinion about something you don't even understand.
It's like trying to vote on a law written in a language you don't speak.
Exactly. And alongside that, we need more public debate, not just in Silicon Valley, but in our communities, schools, everywhere.
Town halls, forums, that sort of thing. Get everyone involved.
Exactly. Give people a platform to ask the tough questions, voice their concerns, because these aren't just tech decisions, they're societal ones, impacting all of us.
So true. And right now, it feels like those decisions are being made in a bit of a vacuum. No.
100%. We need more diverse voices at the table. Ethicists, social scientists, everyday citizens, not just tech CEOs and politicians.
More of a collaborative approach. Figuring out what works for everyone, not just a select few.
Exactly. That might mean oversight committees, ethical guidelines for AI development, even legislation to protect our rights in this new landscape.
Sounds like a tall order, but honestly, this is the kind of stuff we should have been thinking about years ago, probably.
Better late than never.
Agree.
The future of AI, it's not predetermined. It's shaped by the choices we make today.
So being afraid of the future, that's not going to help anyone. It's about rolling up our sleeves and shaping it.
100%. Staying informed, engaged, holding those in power accountable. That's how we ensure AI is used for good, not for, well, the opposite.
Well said. That's all the time we have for this deep dive, folks. But, like we always say, keep those questions coming. Keep the conversation going. Because this stuff matters.
It really does.
Until next time, this has been The Deep Dive. Signing off.